Hello, my name is John Murphy, and this is my Session 3 personal reflection video. Today I'm going to do something I don't like to do, and that is talk about myself and what I'm thinking. This will be composed of my relationships with God, myself, and others in the class. We will go over the activities that have been influential so far and how they have impacted me. Lastly, we will forward to insight and improvement. Concerning self, I generally have an irritation with lack of progress and perceived life goals. Another point of understanding is that I am with certain personality traits that most people find difficult to deal with. The biggest point of pain for me is the mistake of investing so much effort into serving a nation instead of a more God-centric lifestyle. I put the defense of the nation ahead of my own spiritual growth. I probably did this because it was easier to do, and now I'm left with the regrets for the first time in my life. My faith in God has not changed throughout my life. He exists and He is in charge. This has not wavered in my belief, but the past few years have been very hard ones. For the first time in my life, I have been praying for things that I wanted to see happen. None of them came about as I asked for, though. Most dealt with the health of my child. Uh, God shut the door to a promising gymnastics career for her, and then shut the door on her next dream, which was to join the Air Force Academy. Um, those were very hard to take because they didn't directly affect me. They directed my child. They affected my child. The latest disappointment was concerning the past presidential election, however. Ever a follower of politics and history, I knew the election was the clearest vote between a very strong socialist candidate and an American values candidate ever in my life. You see, I understand that socialism and liberty cannot coexist in one political body. It was painfully easy for me to distinguish the impact of Biden taking power. Now, God has allowed the Socialist Party to take control of this country. I've lived my life as a patriot, serving for over 30 years. This hurts me so profoundly. Um, I've spent this time defending a nation that basically no longer exists. Society, and by extension the nation, no longer resemble what I cherished when I took the oath of enlistment back in 1990. I know that God doesn't guarantee the continued existence of America, and that what is happening is due to our turning our backs on His teachings. Him and I have clearly different perspectives, and mine is wrong. I know He sees the situation from a much broader perspective, one that encompasses His overall plan. But I struggle every day, even so. I am trying not to be resentful, and I fail at it daily. Concerning reflection on others, my experiences communicating with others in the class has been a very rewarding component of the curriculum. I enjoy being able to see how others perceive life and its challenges. The discussion sessions allow me a nice community to feel about discussing topics, something society no longer supplies to me otherwise. Concerning reflecting on activities, during the personality test project, I learned more about the level of introversion I have in my personality. This was not a surprise to me, as I am an introvert. What was learned was that my thoughts about having time alone were reinforced. I've always felt that time alone was needed to spiritually recharge, if you would. It was nice to see those thoughts validated. Another point of reflection I picked up on was the process of diagnosing friendship components. Specifically, I gained in the area concerning what it's like being betrayed and having disparate principles. Both of these issues have come up recently with two people I used to hang out with. Again, this helped reinforce the decisions I have made concerning them. I have come to understand that a person's spirit is much like a sponge. If you put the sponge in dirty water, which is associated with the wrong people, it comes out fouled. If you put the sponge in clean water, it stays clean. I understand that now. Just having an aversion to putting the sponge in any water lately, which is, I think, also not healthy. This insight has shown that I do, even though I have been hurt in the past, need to put myself out there more and meet people. There are many areas in which I need to grow, and this is a challenge I feel I have shut down in many areas of my life. How much of this was forced upon me with the whole COVID thing, and how much of this comes from my personal aversion to social situations, I am unsure. It needs to be addressed anyway, so I guess it doesn't matter. The biggest question is, what will my relationship with God be from this point on? How do I get over my irrational resentment I have towards how things have played out in my life? This project has been both enjoyable and uncomfortable at the same time, and I have had to reflect upon the components of my life and how my weaknesses reflect in my relationship and in myself. Thank you.